Hey there everyone, just want to do a quick little tutorial on how to use the normal distribution calculator in StatCrunch. So to pull the calculator up, you go to the Stat menu, Calculators, and then select Normal. And with this normal distribution calculator, it defaults to the standard normal distribution. And I know it's standardized because I have a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. So that would indicate any value that I enter in this box where it says x is less than or equal to, that would actually be a z-score, okay, because I have a standard normal distribution here. A couple of things to point out is that you can click on the inequality symbol here, and you can change it from less than or equal to greater than or equal to, depending on what you're working on. You can type whatever number you want in this box. So if the question says find the probability that the z-score is less than 0.8, I can type in 0.8, press compute, and then it gives me the probability of selecting a z-score that's less than or equal to 0.8. Okay, I can change that inequality to greater than, and it gives me the probability of being greater than 0.8. Now you'll also notice that the diagram up here, this graph, is giving you a visual of what it's computing. So I have my symbol here at greater than, which is why the right side of this particular graph is shaded. Okay, another thing that you can do is, let's say that the question asks you to find the z-score that gives the 30th percentile. Well, that 30th percentile represents the value that splits the bottom 30% from the upper 70%. So it's really giving us an area or a probability. And what I would need to do is I would need to type in my area into this box. So I switched my symbol back to less than because it's the 30th percentile, and that's the area on the left. I would enter my value of 0.30 for the area, and you'll see that my diagram pops back up, and here it gives me the corresponding z-score. So a z-score of negative 0.52 would represent the 30th percentile. Now, we can also use this calculator when working with data sets that have not been standardized. So let's say we're working with IQ scores. Well, the mean of IQ scores is 100, and the standard deviation is usually about 15. I can use the calculator in the same way, but now I would just enter actual IQ scores in this particular box. So if the question asked me, what's the probability you randomly select somebody with an IQ score less than 95? Okay. I could type in my 95 here, compute it, and it gives me that probability. Okay. I could also do the 30th percentile again, same way. I would enter my area in that probability box, and then here it pops up what's that IQ score that represents the 30th percentile. You can do that using the greater than symbols, whatever symbols you need depending on the question. Always make sure you check that. Okay, the other thing is, if you need to find the area between two values, you can come up here to the top, click on that between button, and then you have, again, the same options you had before. If you know the IQ scores you want to find the area between, let's say you want to find the area between an IQ score of 90 and an IQ score of 105, you can type those values in, press compute, and it will give you your area there. You can also work on problems where it says, you know, find the probability or find the IQ scores that would give the middle 60%. Okay. Now, because it says the middle 60%, we are assuming that we have symmetry. And if that is the case, we can put in our 0.6 here, press compute, and then it will give us the IQ scores that make those cuts. Okay, so there's a lot of different things you can do with this calculator as far as solving those problems without having to use the paper tables.